Princess Cruises Overseas Television welcomes you to the Princess Channel.
You can choose from 16 exciting tours to enrich your cruise experience, ranging from 1 to 5 hours each. Select from trips by van, motor coach, float plane, helicopter, or boat. Follow along and see the many princess adventures.
Discover the city of Juneau with all of its rich history. The largest city in square miles in North and South America. Juneau is also home to a spectacular world of glaciers, granite, water, and wildlife. Board your motor coach and listen as your knowledgeable guide points out the passing highlights. Then stop for fascinating insights into salmon production at the Gastineau Hatchery. Next, it's on to Mendenhall Glacier, the largest glacier accessible by road, where you can tour the Visitor Center for a wealth of information on glaciers. Finally, you return to Juneau for a truly inspirational view of Auk Lake and Mendenhall Glacier.
But if it's food that's on your mind, you'll want to be sure to sign up for this mouth-watering outdoor salmon feast. Hop aboard the special bus that takes you for a short ride to the salmon bake. You'll dine on Alaskan salmon, barbecued over an open fire, a buffet with all you can eat. When you're stuffed to the gills, stroll in the woods, take a short walk to Salmon Falls, or visit the adjacent Raptor Center, home to native birds of prey.
When you get back, think about the view from the river with whitewater rafting. Get ready to discover the fun of this exciting yet gentle introduction to the Mendenhall River, across the still waters of the lake and to the river beyond. There you'll witness spectacular views of the glacier and towering peaks, pass through gentle rapids, and stop for a delicious snack of smoked salmon, reindeer sausage, and cheese.
If you feel it's time to see the view from above, then you'll want to hop onto a float plane for breathtaking views of 5 glaciers, capped off by a salmon bake at a remote mountain lodge. On this trip to Taku Glacier Lodge, peer down from above at the gigantic Nunataka rock formations, into deep blue ice crevasses, and across the faces of some of Alaska's largest glaciers. Witness the landscape change from ice to meadow until you touch down at the lodge, where the smells of a salmon feast greet your arrival.
But if your appetite is for flight, consider an air excursion across the faces of Norris, Taku, Hole in the Wall, and the East and West Twin Glaciers. Stupendous sights abound in this world, a remnant of the last ice age. Gaze down into icy crevasses hundreds of feet deep. Ponder this world of ice and snow, glaciers and granite. As the plane descends over the spectacular canyons behind Juneau, prepare for the thrill of your trip, an exciting water landing.
If passing over Mendenhall Glacier makes you yearn to actually set foot on this glacier, the Mendenhall Glacier helicopter tour is for you. Explore firsthand the enchanting realm of a glacier. Getting there is half the fun. Your modern turbine helicopter speeds you over alpine ridges, cruises above twisted ice spires and deep crevasses, and passes over the Mendenhall Towers, rock sentinels rising 3,000 feet out of the glacier. Your helicopter's individual headsets allows for the pilot's narration of all the passing sights. Your gentle landing on the ice will open up your guided exploration of the glacial surface, how glaciers form, flow, and shape the landscape. You'll never forget the sight of this giant river frozen in time.
One helicopter trip is never enough. So there is this alternative flight high over the glaciers surrounding Juneau, topped off with your first-hand experience of this magical world as you walk on a glacier. From an eagle's perspective, you'll fly over the many breathtaking glaciers that comprise the Juneau ice field. Witness the cascading Hole-in-the-Wall Glacier, the advancing Taku Glacier, and the unique Dead Branch Glacier. You'll touch down on the Norris Glacier, exploring the ancient landscape of glacial streams and crevasses. On the return flight, look for moose, bear, and mountain goat.
Enough time up in the air? Well then, dig down and pan for gold. Relive the glory days of the Klondike Gold Rush. Led by your prospector guide, you'll travel by van on the route taken by Joe Juneau over 100 years ago. At Gold Creek, site of the original discovery, you'll personally pan for gold with the promise of guaranteed gold in every pan. Besides the first-hand thrills, you'll view what remains of the Alaska Juneau mine and learn about the history of mining in the area.
Gold in hand, time for some exciting sport fishing. Enjoy half a day trolling for salmon in the calm inside passage waters off Juneau. Surrounded by glorious scenery, you'll fish from a luxury boat with a maximum of 6 people fishing per boat. Anything you catch can be prepared and shipped home for an additional charge.
Need a break from adventure? Delve into the native culture and history with a trip to the Sealaska Cultural Center and the Nakahiti Theater. Not far from the cruise ship pier, experience world-renowned performers dramatizing native legends. Hear native music and song as backdrop to tales of comedy, tragedy, and ceremony. After the show, visit with the performers and local artisans as you stroll through the Cultural Arts Park.
Ready for more adventure? Well then, get ready to go to the pilot's favorite spots. This tour to seldom-seen corners of the Juneau icefield allow for 2 glacier landings. Your helicopter flight takes you to places experienced pilots discover and keep to themselves. At one special spot, you'll land to witness firsthand the clear aqua pools, crevasses, and other unique glacial features. Alone in this silent, serene landscape, who knows what new perspectives you'll gain of the world and life.
Is the air up there too thin? Then take a comfortable cruise into the wilderness and to Taku Glacier aboard an 80-foot catamaran. Explore a fjord far into Taku Inlet in the heart of the Tongass National Forest. Take in the grandeur and hear seabirds nesting on the cliff's craggy face. See the only advancing glacier in the Juneau icefield, Taku Glacier, and learn about it from your onboard naturalist. As you pass along the shore, prepare for a close encounter with eagles, sea lions, seals, and whales.
Enough time at sea? How about a nature walk? Stroll 1.5 miles on Douglas Island through the world's largest temperate rainforest. Wander along trails carpeted with moss and wildflowers. Wind through stately spruce and towering hemlock. Rays of light pierce the natural canopy, dancing on delicate ferns and mystical devil's club. See lily-covered ponds, trickling brooks, and ancient bonsai-like trees struggling to reach the light. Before the walk is over, you'll find yourself on rocky beaches with tide pools and protected coves, home to an array of seabirds and marine life. The pace is leisurely, with frequent stops for insights into your surroundings.
So you want to see wildlife, but want to sit back and relax? Then it's time to embark on a sightseeing cruise into the Alaskan wilderness, with a guarantee you'll see wildlife. Aboard your 65-foot catamaran, you'll depart Auk Bay in your warm, comfortable cabin. As you wend your way through the many islands and channels of the Stevens Passage, the onboard naturalist will explain the wildlife you encounter. Possible sightings include humpback and orca whales, stellar sea lions, harbor seals, Dall's porpoises, bald eagles, and the Sitka black-tailed deer. So abundant is the wildlife, if you don't see at least 3 species, excluding marine birds, you'll get a partial refund.
If you want to get closer to the water, then it's time to go kayaking. Travel in the style of the Southeast Alaska's native Indians to explore the coastal waterways of beautiful Auk Bay. You'll explore places like Smuggler's Cove and the Mendenhall wetlands.
And now for something completely different, the view from a tram. climb aboard the Mount Roberts Tramway to experience the panoramic views of Juneau and the Inside Passage from 2,000 feet above the city. You'll travel up the forested slopes of Mount Roberts to the observation deck, where you'll enjoy breathtaking views of Juneau and the Chilkat mountain range. Walk along alpine trails, take a guided nature tour, or explore on your own. Besides the awesome vistas, you may spot mountain goats and bald eagles.
A tour for every taste and interest. Now that you are here, don't miss the chance to explore up close and personally the wonders and beauty of Alaska.
14 incredible tours await you to discover what was once the gateway to the gold fields. Explore the history, wildlife, and magnificent natural beauty of the area.
Step back into history for this motor coach tour of Skagway, a boom and bust gold rush town. You'll explore the Klondike Gold Rush National Historic Park District, where your guide will note points of interest and share amusing stories of bygone days. Then examine Gold Rush artifacts at the Trail of 98 Museum. Then onto the Gold Rush Cemetery, where many colorful figures are buried. Lastly, you'll stop at the lookout, offering panoramic views of the Skagway Valley, the surrounding glacier-clad mountains, the Lynn Canal, and your Princess cruise ship. Finish up with your own personal exploration of downtown Skagway.
Feel like it's time to get out of town? Well, hop on our motor coach for a trip up the Trail of 98 to a Gold Rush era trail camp, and then onto White Pass Summit. From the comfort of your motor coach, start with the streets of historic downtown Skagway. Along the way, thrill to stories of stampeders as you enter a land known as Tormented Valley. At a restored Gold Rush camp, you'll be greeted in period costume by a miner who will guide you through the camp. Then try your hand at gold panning, with a guarantee you'll both find gold and get to keep it.
If a longer journey is what you're looking for, then sign right up for this trek by Deluxe Motor Coach into Canada's legendary Yukon Territory. On your 65-mile journey, you'll climb the White Pass Trail of 98 with stops to enjoy the abundant mountains, waterfalls, and glaciers. Once over the summit, you've entered the wilderness with such notable places as the glaciated Tormented Valley and the lakes which comprise the headwaters of the Yukon River. You'll hear from your guide about the history of the region. Stop to explore the historic car cross along famous Lake Bennett, then stroll through the Wildlife Gallery at Frontierland Heritage Park.
Looking for a unique way to see Skagway? Try a spin in our antique automobile. There's no better way to relive the rip-roaring days of the Gold Rush era than with the costumed conductors of the town's original sightseeing operators. Take the same historical tour made famous in 1923 by Alaska's first tour guide, Martin Itchen. Visit Lookout Mountain with its panoramic view. Stop at the Gold Rush Cemetery, and then see the largest gold nugget in the world. Along the way, hear about the colorful characters that made Skagway their home. And before it's over, join the Arctic Brotherhood at its grand camp, just like President Harding did over 70 years ago.
Maybe you'd like to get a bit more modern for an adventure by van, up the West White Pass Summit following the actual Gold Rush Trail of 98. Your route was first carved by dog teams, horse, and wagons during the Gold Rush, then by the trains of the railroad completed in 1899. You'll hear over a century's worth of White Pass stories while stopping for views and photos along the way. Get ready for Dead Horse Trail, Pitchfork Falls, plus plentiful glaciers and peaks. You'll stop at the U.S.-Canada border at the summit before returning to Skagway.
Feel it's time for a bird's eye view? Well, hop aboard a helicopter to fly to a remote mountain valley and stand on a glacier thousands of years old. As you're whisked away to a valley filled with hanging glaciers, look down upon the treacherous mountain routes. Step out onto a magnificent river of ice to experience this phenomenon of nature. Surrounded by twisted ice spires, translucent blues, and pure mountain air, try to imagine the immense forces at work as the glaciers inch down the valleys. This is an adventure you will never forget.
Not sure about a whirlybird? How about a plane ride to see magnificent Glacier Bay National Park? Fly over this glacier-filled wonderland and witness great mountains of ice shatter and fall into the sea. Bring more film than you think you'll need, as this unique opportunity yields unparalleled opportunities for many stunning photographs.
Like the views from ground and air? Why not combine a plane flight with a raft trip? Start with a breathtaking flight over the ice fields and glaciers of the Chilkat Mountains. Besides the bird's-eye perspective of this wonderland below, keep a sharp eye for elusive mountain goats, bear, or moose. After landing in Haines, you'll drive to the Chilkat Bald Eagle Preserve. After a delicious picnic lunch, float gently in your raft down through the preserve. Watch for eagles above and grizzlies and wolves along the riverbank searching for salmon.
Want to stay off the water? How about a plane flight combined with a land-based wildlife tour? With a scenic flight over the fjords nestled among the majestic coastal range, you'll fly to the Valley of the Eagles. Then off you go along the coastal beach, watching for all types of seabirds and marine life. At the river estuary, you'll see bald eagles in flight, feeding or perched in trees. With the help of powerful spotting scopes, you'll be able to spy their nests. The Chilkoot River has seasonal salmon runs, and you can stroll through an old-growth rainforest.
Tired of just watching the fish swim by? Then sign up for sport fishing with the opportunity to land some big ones. Enjoy an afternoon on the calm waters of the Inside Passage, casting out your line from the comfort of a 26-foot cruiser. While angling for salmon or halibut, take in the beauty of the Lynn Canal. Whatever you catch will be cleaned and bagged on board. Packing and shipping are available in Skagway for an additional fee.
Why not ease back for a ride on the world-famous railroad to the White Pass Summit? Built through some of the North's most rugged and beautiful terrain, the White Pass and Yukon route has no match. Almost 100 years later, this narrow-gauge railroad is still in operation. As you ride in an old-fashioned parlor car, the Alaskan wilderness unfolds past your window. Bridal Veil Falls, Inspiration Point, and Dead Horse Gulch. After reaching the White Pass Summit, the international boundary between the U.S. and Canada, you return to Skagway.
Had enough relaxation? Then sign on for the fun and adventure of mountain biking down from White Pass Summit. Coast down 15 miles of moderately graded road with frequent stops to allow your guide to point out the beautiful natural sights. This unique way to view the area around Skagway gets you out into the fresh Alaska air and into the heart of the history and natural wonder of the area.
Now you can combine a helicopter ride, a rail trip, and a hike in a dream adventure into the Alaska wilderness. Board a helicopter for a flight over the Juneau ice fields with all its glacial beauty to a landing at Glacier Station. Then take a refreshing hike along the Skagway River in the Tongass National Forest. Upon your return to Glacier Station, you'll take the White Pass and Yukon Route Railroad for a 1-hour scenic ride back to Skagway.
How about a horseback ride through one of Alaska's most breathtaking valleys to the remains of a gold rush town? After a journey by van into the backcountry wilderness of the Klondike Gold Rush National Park, you'll mount a gentle horse to explore the original town site of Dyea. Along the way, hear tales from your guides of bygone gold rush days.
Now that you've seen and heard about the smorgasbord of Princess Tours, providing trips by every imaginable means of transport to all the areas surrounding Skagway, Pick the ones that are right for you and have fun. Explore the wonders of Sitka, once the Russian capital of North America, which was referred to as the Paris of the Pacific. Consider these 8 exciting tours.
This tour highlights the culture of the Russian presence in Sitka. Travel along Sitka Sound, with stops including the first Russian Orthodox cathedral in North America, filled with priceless religious artifacts. Then visit Sitka National Historic Park.
How about the mariner's perspective of Sitka and the surrounding area? Cruise aboard a classic excursion vessel through scenic splendor and past historic landmarks. See the beach where Tlingit warriors fought to defend their ancestral homes against Russian warships. After landing, take advantage of the ticket to St. Michael's Russian Orthodox Cathedral, included in your tour package.
Come aboard for a jet boat excursion in search of otters, whales, and other wildlife. Your comfortable 65-foot vessel takes you to the secluded waters of the Inside Passage for the best wildlife viewing anywhere. That's no exaggeration. If you don't see a whale, otter, or bear, we'll refund part of the tour price. Your onboard naturalist will illuminate this ecosystem as you drift past eagles tending their nests and other wildlife in their natural habitat.
Longing for dry land? Then come along for a journey into the rich history of Sitka, plus insight into Alaska's efforts to study and help bald eagles and other raptors. This area boasts the largest population of bald eagles in the US of A. See how these birds, when injured, are cared for by volunteers at the Alaska Raptor Rehabilitation Center. Visit Sitka's National Historical Park and learn about native culture and history. End it all with a performance of Russian folk dances.
Enough with all this history? Then hit the water for sport fishing in the Sitka Sound and adjacent waters. Cast your line for salmon and halibut from your fully equipped boat. Keep your eyes open to the dramatic scenery and wildlife. Whatever you land, for an additional charge, it can be preserved and shipped home. How about kayaking? Cast off in your 2-person kayak for unique views of Sitka's waterfront and surrounding area. You might see brown bear, harbor seals, or eagles swooping from trees and lush rainforests.
Looking for the bird's eye view? Then it's time to take off in a float plane. Take flight to view dramatic scenery shaped over millions of years by geologic forces. You'll see lofty peaks and hanging glaciers, with various wildlife dotting the sparkling waters. Enjoy a thrilling landing on a remote alpine lake or protected fjord. Then step out on the floats to enjoy the sights. Also included is a city drive highlighting the historical sites of Sitka.
Consider a walking tour. Begin in the heart of Sitka, visiting the major historical sites. Then enter the lush Tongass National Forest and Sitka National Historic Park, and stop at the Raptor Center along the way.
Sitka, with all of its rich history, awaits your discovery.
Get ready to discover this cosmopolitan city, originally named Gastown, for its founder, Gassy Jack Dighton. Now Canada's 3rd largest city awaits your exploration via 3 exciting tours.
Travel by motor coach to North America's 2nd largest Chinatown. Then visit historic Gastown before traveling through downtown Vancouver. Then it's on to Stanley Park, the largest natural urban park in North America. Amongst 800 acres of forest, you'll see totem poles, bridges, and English Bay. Then to Queen Elizabeth Park and the Bloedel Conservatory. You won't want to pass up this chance to see Victoria, a picture-perfect city.
Take a lovely drive along the water on your way to downtown Victoria. See the most popular urban sites before leaving the city, heading for Bouchard Gardens. Once at the gardens, be prepared for 35 acres of floral beauty. Wander for 2 hours at your own pace to the Sunken Gardens and the English Rose Garden.
Prefer architecture to flowers? Then come through downtown along Antique Row to Credrock Castle. Built in the 1800s, you will marvel at the 39 rooms of intricate paneled woodwork, stained glass windows, and antique furniture. Then travel to an exact replica of Anne Hathaway's cottage and stroll through an English village.
Lastly, consider a tour of 2 magnificent and beautiful gardens. Travel through some of Victoria's most beautiful areas on your way to Butterfly Gardens. Stroll through its tropical gardens and prepare to be awed by the collection of living exotic butterflies from all over the world. Then, on to world-famous Bouchard Gardens for a wide and rich variety of floral splendor.